Welcome back to another video. It's your favorite math professor here, Dr. Tarcia Hubert. And in this video, we are going to talk about measures of central tendency, okay? What does that mean? That just means we have a large group of numbers and we want to find one number to represent that large group of numbers. It's kind of like picking a team captain, all right? When you have a team, you pick one person, sometimes more than one person, but you pick one person to represent the group. That's basically what a measure of central tendency is. It's a way to pick one number to represent the group of numbers, all right? And there are three ways you can do that we're going to talk about, and that is the mean, the median, and the mode, all right? So first of all, what is the mean? The mean is the average, all right? So with the mean, you're going to take the average of the group of numbers. And so we're going to talk about how to do that in a little bit, but right now we just want to do an overview of all of them, all right? Then you have the median. Median means middle. That's the number that is in the middle of the numbers, okay? All right, so you have the average. Mean means average. You have median means middle. And then you have the mode. The mode is the number that appears the most in that data set, all right? So you can kind of remember it. Mode, most is 4 letters, starts with the M. Mode means most. Median has an M and a D in it. It's same as middle, it has an M and a D, so median means middle. And then mean, which is the one that don't really have like a connection, but mean means average. So hopefully that can help you remember those three measures of central tendency. Mean is average, median is middle, and mode is most. All right, so for example, let's say there were 6 students and they all took a test, and these were the scores on their test: a 85, a 90, a 75, 95, 100, and 85. Okay, say these were my students. They tested, and I just need to pick one number to represent those students' test scores. And so which one do I use and how do I use them? That's what we're going to look at in this video, okay? So what number would I use to represent that set of numbers, okay? And that's what we want to look at. So let's look at some examples. All right, so first we're going to look at the mean. Again, mean means average. And to find the mean, what you're going to do is you're going to add all the numbers up, and then you're going to divide it by the number of numbers, or the number of values, okay? So for example, in this problem, we want to find the mean of 10, 15, 20, and 25. So if I find the mean of these numbers, so the mean is equal to, I'm going to add each of those numbers together: 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25, and I'm going to divide it by the number of numbers, where there are 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So I'm going to divide that by 4, all right? So 10 plus 15 is 25, 25 plus 20 is 45, and 45 plus 25 is 70. So that's going to be 70 over 4. And then we're going to divide that. If you do 70 divided by 4, that actually ends up turning out to be 17.5. And so 17.5 ends up being your mean, which is the average of that data set. So the one number that you will use to represent this data set would be 17.5. And that is a 7 right there, just so you know, okay? So that's how you find the mean. You take all the numbers, you add them up, and you divide it by the number of numbers, all right? So now let's jump into the median. All right, again, median means middle. Remember that M and that D connection? Median means middle. To find the median, what you want to do is you want to put the numbers in order from least to greatest, smallest to biggest, all right? That's the first thing you want to do. Second thing is you want to find the number that's in the middle, directly in the middle. If there is an odd number of numbers, there will be one number in the middle. If there is an even number of numbers, there will be 2 numbers in the middle. And if there's 2 numbers in the middle, you'll take the average of those 2 numbers, meaning you'll take the mean of those 2 numbers, add those 2 numbers together, and divide them by 2, okay? I'm going to show you an example of both cases, all right? So for this next example, we want to find the median of 18, 25, 12, 20, and 15. So the first thing we need to do is write these numbers in order. Our smallest number is 12, followed by 15, followed by 18, followed by 20, followed by 25. And there are 5 numbers, and I just want to make sure I have all 5 of them, all right? So now I want to find the number that's in the middle. It's an odd number of numbers, so there should be one number in the middle. And I'm going to do that by crossing off the numbers on the end at the same time. So I'm going to cross off the 12 and the 25 at the same time. I'm going to cross off the 15 and the 20 at the same time. And once I do that, I'm left with the one number that's in the middle, which is 18. So in this case, your median would be 18. That's the number in the middle. And that's one way that you can find one number to represent that data set. So we can use 18 to represent this data set if we choose to use the median, all right? Now, let's look at the last one. Oh, no, before we go to the last one, let's look at another example using the median, all right? Okay, in this example, we want to find the median of 5, 12, 10, and 8. Again, when you find the median, the first thing you want to do is put the numbers in order from smallest to biggest. So 5, then 8, then 10, then 12. Then you want to find the number that's in the middle, and you can do that by crossing off the numbers on each end. So I'm going to cross off the 5 and the 12. And then if you notice, there's 4 numbers here, so it's an even number of numbers, which means there are going to be two numbers in the middle, and in this case, those 2 numbers are 8 and 10. Since there are 2 numbers in the middle, we have to take the average of those 2 numbers. So our median here is going to be the average, meaning we're going to add those 2 numbers together and divide it by the number of numbers. So divided by 2. And so 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And so in this problem, your median would be 9, okay? And so what I did was I showed you an example of what it would look like if you have an odd number of numbers where you have 1 number in the middle. And then this is an example where you have an even number of numbers, in this case 4. And when it's an even number of numbers, you have 2 numbers in the middle, and you take the average of those 2 numbers, all right? Let me know if you have any questions at all about how to find the median. Okay, now we're going to look at the last way, or the last measure of central tendency, which is the mode. Mode means most. That means the number that appears the most in that data set. All right, so to find the mode, you just identify the number that appears the most often. And so, for example, 4, we want to find the mode of this data set. It has 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 7, 7, and 8. There's no work to be done here besides counting how many times each number is represented. And as you can see, 4 is represented 2 times here, but 7 is represented 3 times here. And so 7 would actually be your mode because it is represented the most. It appears the most frequent. So your mode here would be 7 because it appears 3 times, all right? Let's look at one last example using the mode. All right, in this last example, we want to find the mode of 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. So this is a data set. And remember, mode means most, so we're looking for the number that appears the most. Well, if you notice, each of these numbers only appear 1 time. 6 is once, 8 is once, 10 is once, 12 is once, 14 is once. There is no number that appears more than once. So in this case, we would say that there is no mode, okay? So it can be the case where there is no mode of a data set. All right, so that's how you find the mode. You look for the number that appears the most, and sometimes it may not be the case. Sometimes you might have 2 numbers that appear the same amount of times. In that case, both of those numbers would be your mode, and we would call that a bimodal set, all right? And so all of these examples that I did, these were really small data sets. But I have a free class that you can sign up for, and you can get more practice, and it will involve some more small data sets, but there will also be some examples that involve larger data sets that will give you some practice, okay? The TSI math test does cover mean, median, and mode, so you do need to know how to find each of these measures of central tendency in order to be successful on the TSI math, the probability portion, okay? If you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. If these videos are helping you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. We are almost done with this TSI math prep course. So y'all just hang in there. You're almost ready to go take that test and pass it with flying colors, all right? Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.